Hey everyone, welcome to May's Log Life. I'm May, and here we go again. It is another week of virtual sidewalk sale on Lug Live. So Lug sent out an email today, earlier this evening, and they also posted it on Facebook that they are extending the sidewalk sale. So the sidewalk sale that was going on this past week, they are extending it by another week. So it's going to start May the 1st through May the 7th. So the picture that you see on the left-hand side was the email, and the one that you see on the right-hand side was the post on Facebook. So the email says 7 more days, 7 hosts, even more bags, more patterns and colors. And for some reason, it's like question mark, exclamation point, question mark. So I don't really. Are they not sure? When I do that, when I go like question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, I usually kind of go like, is it happening? Maybe, I don't know, but like sort of with a bit of surprise. So do they not know what's happening next week? That to me is confusing. But it does go out of its way to say free shipping extended as well. And then in the Facebook post, it says our virtual sidewalk sale has been extended on Lug Live between May 1st and May 7th. Get ready for another 7 days of pure shopping bliss featuring your 7 incredible hosts showcasing new product and new patterns and colors. And this one actually goes out its way a little bit more to say that all purchases are final sale, no cancellations. Or didn't seem to really quite say that in the email. But because it's extended, I'm assuming that all the same rules apply from what was going on this past week, even though they're not really specifying. They're not going way out of the way to remind us that all sales are final. In the email, anyways, it doesn't even sort of mention it in that particular photo. But you got to assume it's the same thing. So no returns, no refunds, no exchanges. It does say all purchases are final in the Facebook post, but in the little blurb, they don't really emphasize that, whereas they really went out of the way to emphasize that last week. So I got to assume the same rules apply. It is free shipping, so that's going to be good for a lot of people. So if for some reason there's just one little item that falls far under $100, you are still going to be able to take advantage of that super sale. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now, it goes out of its way to say there's more bags, more patterns and colors, but I don't know what that means. So like the email says more patterns, more colors, more bags. The post on the Facebook on Facebook says new product and new patterns. So we're gonna find out. I'm not sure if they're talking about like they're just they found more, or there's more of the same thing that we saw last week, or these are actually new products, meaning things that um that are currently sort of in the inventory, so they're not necessarily discontinued. So one could interpret that as like new products, meaning things that are currently in the system that are not discontinued yet, or it could just be new discontinued items, things that were not introduced last week. So it'll be interesting to see what that actually ends up being. But last time they actually really went out of their way to talk about how there were going to be a lot of rare items, that there was going to be limited quantities, that the prices were going to be really low, that they were going to be seeing, older things coming out that maybe we hadn't seen in a long time. Neither of these announcements mentioned anything about that. So I'm wondering if this is now going to be sort of a much more flexible sale where, it could be newer stuff, it could be older stuff, it could be, stuff in between, it could be, certain colors that they're trying to get rid of, but it could be, things that are currently in the inventory. And we might also still probably see things that are, older and they're trying to sort of clear house. So it'll be interesting to see what they've got. It's possible they're actually bringing out new product, like actual new stuff that maybe we haven't seen on Log Live, or we haven't seen at all, because I know every once in a while they do actually debut brand new products on Lug Live only. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Either way, it's final sale and it's free shipping. So at least those two things have been continued through this coming week. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine. And apparently, even as it's your guess is as good as Lug's at this point now, because they don't seem to know what's going on next week either. So in the previous slide, I talked about the email that was sent, and the picture on the right hand, oh, sorry, the left hand side was the top half of the email. Well, this is the bottom half of the email, and I've just brought a little gallery to sort of quickly go over what they were showing. So basically, when you open the email, you can read the what you saw in the previous slide, but behind it, the backdrop behind it, and the little sort of silhouette, the black silhouette of a lug bag underneath, was constantly flashing and changing. So it was like a little slideshow. So I just took a little screenshot of each bag and each print just to show you here, just so we can sort of, wonder and guess what this is. It's kind of like, which Pokemon is this? Well, this is what lug is this? So I thought we'd play that a little bit really quickly here. And I put the numbers at the top. So I'm going to make my best guess. And if I'm wrong, or if you have a better guess, please put that in the comments below. I would love to hear. Maybe I've just forgotten about something, or maybe I've just completely misguessed. So if you have a better answer, please put that in the comments below. So number one at the back, so the backdrop there is the Riverwalk print. We haven't seen that in a while. That got discontinued probably about 6 years ago. And we know that there's always going to be Riverwalk stuff hanging around, because they really were having trouble getting rid of it, because it was quite a dated sort of print. But it was one of the prints that I think was very, very gender neutral. It was just not the nicest colors. They were like really dark colors. So for anyone who's into lug, who liked lug because of the colors, these ones were really quite plain and quite drab. In my opinion, some people loved them and really, really liked them because they were darker and because they were more neutral. But it just sort of is not what lug does anymore, where everything is super bright colors. These ones were not. So we're going to see some Riverwalk products there, I think. And then the silhouette that you see, the little bag there, that is the Canoe cosmetic bag. So yeah, that's been discontinued as well, probably for about 5 years. I thought they got rid of all of these, but I was wrong. Number two, the pattern in the back is the leopard print. So there was a leopard berry and a leopard navy. Again, those are definitely prints that have been discontinued for a while. And I believe there are still a few things floating around. Probably like they probably still have like the minuet and the roundabout in those colors. So we're probably going to see those. But the bag in question, I think it's going to be one of those bags that came out of the series. There was that little turn knob at the front with the diamond quilting on the front, and they were all musical terms. So there was I think the allegro and the I'm not sure if there was adagio, but there was a presto, and I just can't remember the names of them all, to be honest with you. And I couldn't remember which one was which, because I just knew they were all musical terms. But I think this is the shorter one. So there was like the shorter, sort of more rectangular one. There was one that was a bit taller, so it was a little bit more square. And then there was one that was sort of like a bucket bag. And I feel like there was one other one. I can't remember. There was like a series of 4 of them, or 3 of them. For sure 3, maybe 4. But I feel like it's that one. It also could be the Huddle, but I don't think they're getting rid of the Huddle just yet. I don't think that's going to be like a clearance product, but it could be. Maybe maybe they bought way too many. They're not moving very well, and maybe they're trying to get rid of the Huddle. So it's possible, like they ordered, whatever, 500, and there's still 400 left. So it's entirely possible that's the Huddle. But if I mean, it looks like there's a zipper at the top, so maybe it's not. Maybe oh geez, I don't know what it is. I'll be honest with you. If there's a zipper at the top, I'm really not quite sure. But anyways, it looked like it was the sort of general shape and size of either the Huddle or the like the Presto, or the Allegro, or whatever it is. But there is a zipper at the top, so I'm not quite so sure. So your guess is as good as mine at this point. So the middle one, number 3, I think it's either the Boxer, or it is there was like a mini orbit and a bigger orbit, and they were backpacks. So they both both of those, like the orbit line and the Boxer line, had like a rounder top and a sort of a wide square bottom. But I think the orbits were a little bit more narrow, so I feel like maybe those are the Boxers, the Boxer backpack. So that's my guess on that one. And then the backdrop behind that is a very old print that definitely got discontinued, again, like 6-7 years ago now. It's the watercolor line. So there was I think 3 or 4 different colors. I think there was like a watercolor black, there was watercolor, I think, gray, and there was watercolor purple, I think. There might be one other one I just can't think off the top of my head. Anyway, so that's the watercolor one. Number 4, the background is, oh gosh, Mystic something forest. I think it's a 3-worded name. Mystic something forest, or Mystic Forest something. I can't remember. That one only came out for a little while. That probably got discontinued about 2 years ago. But it only lived for about a year. I think there were a few things that were put out in it, and then they never brought it back again. And that's just, like I said, been discontinued for quite a long time. And the bag that's in the front, I feel like it's the Dazzle, or it's the taller bag of the musical term line. So either the Allegro, the Adagio, the Presto, I can't remember which one. But it looks to me like it's probably going to be the Dazzle. And we know that the Dazzle's been out for a little while. They did bring out some new stuff this year, but there were some things from maybe 2 years ago that I'm sure they want to get rid of. And the last one, number 5, the backdrop there is the Peacock Multi. There could be Peacock Teal or Peacock Gray. There were, I think, 1 or 2 items that were released in those 2 colors. So we might see that Peacock print in a slightly different, more rare color. But the bag there looks to me like a Windjammer, possibly the Windjammer SE. So that used to be a really popular bag. We haven't seen it come out in new colors in a while, so I got to assume that they still have a bunch of things left over that they want to get rid of. So that to me looks like the Windjammer. Now at the bottom, you just sort of see on each one, it just says by popular demand, just for, it says, for just 1 week more. So by popular demand, it's not like everyone was like, please give me another week of like clearance sales. No one said that. I think they're just saying we still have more crap we can't get rid of, so we're going to extend it. Okay, so now what I want to talk about next is what I think the sale is going to be and what I think I want the sale to be. So I guess I'll start with what I want it to be. Because last week's prices were not great, some of the prices were sidewalk sale worthy and final sale worthy. Most of the products were, the sale was just that. It was a sale price, but it was nothing close to a clearance item. It was, a clearance price. It was nothing close to warrant being final sale. If I'm going to not be allowed to return it or anything like that, it better be, like 80% off. Basically it's one of these things where they are paying me to take it off their hands. So because last week was kind of a bomb as far as I was concerned, in terms of clearance prices, final sale pricing, what I want to see this week is anything they couldn't get rid of last week, anything that was part of that clearance sale, like all these discontinued items, discontinued colors, whatever they sold them for last week, I want to see that price slashed in half. So if they were offering it for 40% off last week or 35% off last week, I want that price to get cut in half. So an additional 50% off. So now we're talking clearance. Now they're going to maybe start moving inventory. Because if you didn't want to buy the Canter 2 for $79, because that's the price they always offer it for when they have a Lug Live show, maybe if it was $40, you might buy it. And you might even buy 3 of them because you're like, hey, I've always wanted a Canter. I can never tell which color I want. Well, screw it. I'm going to buy both because they're only $40. It's half of what they were offering it last week. And then you don't feel so bad if you don't like it when you see it, because you're not going to return a bag that was $120 that is now $40. So, I like to see that slashed at least whatever the lowest price was last week, take an additional 50% off. That would be amazing. Anything that is new this week, because they're claiming they're bringing new stuff in. Of course, all the little silhouettes that you see in front of you were not offered last week. If they want to bring those in, they should be bringing these in at really, really kick butt prices. So, for example, that canoe, I think there was a time when they were trying to clear them out on Lug Live. Last time they had them on their shows. I think some of them were $15. I think they were like $15, but they only had like 2 colors left, or maybe even 1 color. This time, I'm hoping that thing is $5. I want to see that thing for $5. I want that thing sold out in 5 minutes, because the problem is people were tuning in and hoping for really, really good sales. And I think there was definitely some people who were gobbling up, the color that they wanted and the print that they wanted. But you know what? I mean, I mentioned this in previous videos that I've made about the sale. The whole point of doing this kind of a sale for any company is to get rid of product as fast as possible and never see it ever again. You want an entire SKU gone from your inventory. You don't want one color hanging around. You don't want, 5 of this one bag sitting around in 4 different colors. You want it to be gone, never to be seen again. You never ever want to deal with this number. You want to erase that number from your inventory. You want it to go directly into the archives. You don't ever want to see this on the floor. You don't want to have, like a QR code for it, or a barcode for it in your warehouse. You don't want your warehouse workers to even step, around it. You don't want to have this thing taking up space, because space in a warehouse is valuable. It's money, it's time. Space on the computer system is money and time. Space of having to keep this on your website is money and time. Anytime that you have to let a lug host bring this out for sale, it's money and time. So the longer you have to extend the life of this particular product, the more it costs you. So it is wise for Lug to try to get rid of these things as quickly as possible and never to be seen again. So I don't know why they didn't have these amazing prices last week. I think it might have been because they were worried they wouldn't have stock to keep selling all through the week. If they really had like completely discounted prices where things were $20, $10, $5 or less, they probably would have sold out in 5-10 minutes, and then there'd be no show. So I'm wondering if maybe they kept it going a little bit longer because, one, they're making money. They're making money still if people are, buying things, even if it's only 40% off. People were still buying. But if they really slashed the prices, it's possible that they would have sold out in 10 minutes, and we would have had to sit there and just watch the Lug Live show hosts pick their noses because there was nothing left to sell. So it's possible that might be part of the reason, although me personally, I don't see why they just didn't do that for every single show for the rest of the summer, where every single lug show there's going to be one bonkers thing, and then there's the host pick, and then there's the 2 specials. I think that would have been the wiser way to go. But I think they just wanted to build up the hype, so they put everything in 1 week. But I think that's what we're going to start to see. So whatever doesn't sell out in the next little while, I think we will start seeing those show up as bonkers prices every once in a while in a show. So on the Monday where they do all the hosts and they do all their host picks, I think that's going to be what it is. And then maybe like on a random Tuesday, one host will go, by the way, today I'm going to have a bonkers price thing at the beginning of my show. Make sure you tune in real quick. And then they might have the remaining whatever dazzles, and they're being sold for $10 each. But this week there might be being sold for $35, but that week it'll be $10, and they will sell out within seconds. So I would love to see them actually extend this out. So I want them to get rid of this really quickly. I don't want to see them extend it out, but I have a feeling that's probably what they're going to do. Plus this week is free shipping, so they want to probably make back enough money that at least it covers the free shipping. However, because it's a clearance final sale thing, I just wish they would bring the prices so low that it really is worth it. So if there's a bag that I've been humming and hawing over, but it's only 40% off, I'm not buying it. But if I'm humming and hawing, I don't know, and it's 80% off, I can guarantee you I'm going to buy both the colors I wasn't sure if I wanted or not. And I was debating between the 2 or 3. I'm just going to buy all 3. And if I don't like it, well, you know what? Maybe I'll use one and I'll never use it again. I'll sell it or I'll give it away as a gift. But I won't regret it. And I won't even send it back, even if there's like a little snag or something on it, or the stitching is coming off on one side. I won't even care. So I would like to see Lug do that. What I think it's going to be is probably exactly what we saw last week, but with just new old things coming back in. We might see some of the products that didn't sell last week come down in price a little bit. So again, let's say it's the canter, it was $79. We might see that for $59. That would be cool. It won't be like slashy prices. It won't be like $25, but you know what? Even if it's $10 off, that's, better. $15 off is still better. But because they only have the one color left, yeah, they're going to try to sell that out. So that's my guess is what it's going to be. I don't think we're going to see anything too exciting. Um, because last week was sort of anticlimactic. I don't imagine this week's going to be much more exciting, but I think more people are going to tune out on this one because I think everyone was sort of revved up to buy everything last week. They bought everything. They anybody who went nuts already went nuts, and I don't think they're going to want to go nuts a second week in a row. And I think there were some people that just got turned off completely, that were like, okay, I really thought this was going to be a significantly better sale, and it ended up being just average at best. Forget it. I'm not even going to worry about it. Maybe they'll tune in for the first 3 minutes of the show and then tune out, especially if they don't see the prices that they're looking for. So anyways, that is what I think it's going to be. It'll be interesting to see what they actually pull off. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be tuning in at the beginning of every show. I will not be waiting with bated breath, though. I certainly was a little bit more excited last week, but now that I know that what the sale was last week, I don't imagine it's going to be much different. So I'm significantly less excited about this one. I didn't buy much last week, thankfully. I did buy a few things, but I didn't buy a ton. And I imagine this week is probably going to be similar. Will there be things that I'm probably going to buy because the prices are better? Yeah. And because the free shipping might entice me to buy something maybe that I wouldn't have otherwise, possibly. But I'm not excited about this sale really at all. So yeah. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think the sale is going to be and what you want it to be. Because maybe Lug will hear us, and maybe one day they'll actually give us a sale we were hoping for. So that is it. Hope that was helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. Good luck next week. Take care, and I'll see you next time.